All right. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Please hit the like button, hit the share button. We're gonna start the podcast, Planet Xbox Podcast, episode 136. I am not on camera today because I do at least got one other soul. It's me and Bless today until everyone joins in. But I'm your host, the Best Buy Kid Smooth. Bless, I know he's busy with Hogwarts Legacy. What's up?
Yo, what's up?
Okay,
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm actually tired. Actually, I was killing some time before the family left the living room, playing the game we got on the screen right now, which is Shadow Warrior 3. This is the definitive edition. Launched in Xbox Game Pass, I think last week, and this version has like the next gen enhancements, which to me I really couldn't tell you the difference.
Wait, what the hell? They have next gen enhancements for that game?
Yeah, the definitive edition is a next gen version because that the original came out last year and it launched in the PS Plus. And I played it in PS Plus last year on PlayStation. Damn near, I'm one trophy away from the platinum. I can't go back and get it because I'm not buying it for that one trophy. So now that's in Game Pass, I probably have the opportunity to get the 100% achievement. I'm just kind of flying through the game. I think I'm on like the last stage now, but it requires you to play it over and over again to get all the upgrades and collections. It's more of like challenges that you gotta do, finishers, this many kills with this particular weapon, environmental kills, all that stuff. I did all of it, and the story's all right. It's cool, but it has a lot of like. I'll take the character, the story and the characteristics from this game I would say I take the story and the characteristics of this game with the gameplay and abilities of Bright Memory Infinite, and I think you get the perfect shooter combo, because they're essentially the similar games, bro. Like if anybody likes Shadow Warrior 3, you would not have any issue with like Bright Memory Infinite and vice versa.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, yeah, so I'm on the last stage. I think it's a cool games on Game Pass, and I think it's easily worth a play to those who are interested in those type of games that you really don't have to sit there and babysit. It's not like this whole cinematic thing. It's just literally a video game. You play stage to stage, and you're done in a weekend. It's a classic video game. Literally a classic video. And the crazy thing is, Blessed, you probably got more experience in Shadow Warrior games, because I didn't like the first two at all. Like I can't, like, for some reason I know people I think credit 2 as like the best one, but in my opinion, I don't know, like I didn't like when I tried them. I would just put them down, but this one I was like, all right, cool. And I think I played this shit like on PlayStation. I know I played through it like 2 or 3 times. On Xbox, I'm probably gonna play through it 2 or 3 times. What's up, Old Man Logan? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yo, what's up, bro? How's it hanging?
This is being lazy on a Saturday afternoon, man.
Hey,
That's absolutely vibes.
good. Best thing. Lazy on a Saturday means you got to spend no money. That's how I look at it.
Might pick up some food.
or Chinese or pizza.
Man, I had pizza last night. I don't know.
Those are the two only options that he eats.
No, I mean, on a Saturday.
I was like, about to say, is that it? Like,
Nah, I didn't know if you were eating picking up food, like going grocery shopping, or eating out, or or like having stuff delivered, to you.
we don't grocery shop. We do HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. Okay, gotcha. Logan, what you currently playing?
I just finished Atomic Heart last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of know life that game, man. I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, that's cool. I want to hear about it. I downloaded it, played the I played the opening of the game.
The opening's a little bit long because it's like did you I don't know if you ever played like the very first like Half-Life. Like that game had a very long intro.
Yeah.
But then like after that intro, dude, that shit, it's Half-Life. It takes off. So it kind of gave me that kind of vibes. Like long intro, getting everything, kind of world set up. And then
world building.
Yeah, like a little bit of world building and stuff. And then like you just kind of get your freedom. And it's like I like it's linear, but yeah, there is like open areas, right? If you want to like explore and stuff. It's not I wouldn't say it's an open world game by any means of the name, but heavy BioShock vibes for sure. Like in there's I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a twist and turns at the end. It's like holy shit.
Yeah,
but I like the combat. I like the exploration. I like the story. Everybody shit on the guy for like the voiceovers. I was like, dude, like I didn't mind him. I didn't think that it was like super cringe. If you want to hear cringe or terrible voice acting, go play Wanted Dead. That has the worst voice acting I've ever heard in a video game. And so like literally everything else gets a pass for me after playing that atrocity of a game.
God damn.
I cannot, dude. I can't express to you like how fucking bad that game was, man. I just.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We couldn't really talk about the last.
I couldn't talk
now
about
you can. Now you can go in.
Man, I gave it a. If you don't want to go to Level 1 Gaming, or if you don't want to check out our YouTube channel, which you should, I gave it a crisp 4 out of 10.
Nice.
And that's being generous.
So absolutely below average,
bro. It is fucking. I can't believe that was a $60 fucking game, dude. Like I'm glad like. Now I'll say like I didn't pay $60. Thank heaven I didn't, because we got a review code. But god damn, I don't know where they went wrong with that game.
You just know they went wrong with that game,
dude.
That's all you know is like that's all you know is like it's ass. I can't explain why specifically.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things. I explained quite a bit of what was wrong with it, but my god, dude, like I was excited, and the thing was, I was amped for it, right? I was pumped for it. Like I had the game pre-ordered before Baron gave me a review code and asked me if I wanted to do a review. Like I actually had that shit pre-ordered. I was ready to give them $60 because like it looked, like kind of like a campy like action game. And dude, it was far from anything fun. I had no fun with that game. The second the credits rolled, I closed that game out and uninstalled it. I usually don't do that. I'll go back and like I'll revisit games, revisit like certain sections. But dude, I literally sighed of relief when I finished it. Like I was like, I don't ever want to go back to this game ever. The best part about that game was the mini levels in it. The little mini games, they kind of have like little like Yakuza vibe games where like there was like karaoke, and there was like you could eat ramen and you had to like eat like an X amount of bowls of ramen, and there was like claw machine games, like the side scroll. I had more fun playing the side stuff of that game than I did like playing the main meat of the game. Yeah, and that's when you know your game fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's
like you're like the small stuff's supposed to complement, like Yakuza,
the larger stuff, yeah.
Right, like Yakuza has like these great fucking mini games that like complement the main game, and give you like a little break from it. But but it's not like that's what you want replaced, the main part of the game.
Yeah.
You just sit there and you just enjoy it because it's a fun little break from the everything else you do in it. And Wanted Dead, I was like, I would rather just play the mini games to this game, rather play the main part of it.
I definitely feel that.
And I've yet to talk to one person that has liked it. I've yet like.
All right, stay away, avoid. There's an.
But if you go to there, like there's people. I mean, there apparently is people that like it because The developers didn't want to retweet any of my my things about the game, but they sure retweeted anything that's positive about it. And I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
But they did put out a thing. The devs put out a thing where they're like, they hear our feedback and they're gonna work on like a bunch of the like issues with the game had. It's like, you should have really like, did anybody play this game before you printed it on a disc and sent it out? Because I don't believe anybody did. Because there's just basic like things that that should have been fixed like instantly.
Yeah.
Like before that game should have come out. That game needed like a couple more months of polish.
Yeah.
It's $60, so that's
No, if you want, I'll test games out, man. I'll give you.
You are the beta tester. You be playing mad games in a year. So you definitely are the beta tester.
I've actually been kind of slow this year pumping out games. I don't know why.
Slow for you is like 10 in a month.
Yeah, dude, I haven't even got. I think I'm at like 6 for the year so far. I don't even think I'm at 10.
It's only February, bro. I think I'm at. I think I like.
I'm at like 5.
Usually like my winter months are usually like my big like times I do games because I don't do anything else. Like there's nothing to do around here, like where I live in the winter, except for just chill.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I definitely prior to release wanted to give Wanted Dead, a go, but the feedback from Logan kind of had me like on edge, and the fact that like those games you're willing to sort of like, all right, I'll gamble on there. That would have been a heartbreaker.
I'm surprised you didn't get a
review code, right? Yeah.
Like, did you not like? I don't know who we reached out to. Baron just gave me the code, so
no, it was on emailer, and I didn't get and as soon as the thing went live on that bitch, like not live like to go, but soon as like the first day it appeared, I requested. But yeah, I didn't get it. So they gave me like shitty games.
Well, dude,
that was
like
shitty too, but like
games, other than like I got SpongeBob, and SpongeBob I actually thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah,
like SpongeBob I thought that was a great game.
Yeah, I got that through a different thing. I still got to put out like content again. The problem was
you still got to put out a review for that.
I just haven't finished the game yet. I didn't feel comfortable like. I played enough of it. I just didn't feel comfortable putting out a review. It's
not that long of a game. Like it's not.
Yeah. Like the thing is that what game? I think when did that shit come out, bro?
What game?
SpongeBob.
It was like end of January.
I'm trying to think because
end of January or beginning of February.
Yeah, because I was playing that game along with another game that came out. So that's definitely like for sure. The other thing, so I'm still playing Hogwarts, but I like stopped, not because I like got bored with the game, because like I'm technically I'm not really under any embargo, but I'm not gonna I'm still gonna try to respect it. But I will say, I am playing like Wolong,
like the full game.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that is that's been taken like games like that, right? I could tell you if like, hey, if my thing is if I'm able to beat it, then I'll be able to review. If I can't, then I'll just drop it and continue what I was doing. but I think like I'll say this, I played enough where I think I should be able to write but to put out a decent review. But
you think it's difficulty wise, is it easier than Neo? Or
see, this is the problem, right? I never played Neo. I've only that's the thing. I've never played Neo, so it's hard for me to really say if it's harder or not. If I have to judge it based off From Software games, I think right now, I don't know if it's. I think right now it should lean towards the side of easier than like the recent From Software games. So going back to like Bloodborne and Elden Ring and Sekiro, I think is probably easier than those games right now. And the only reason why I say that is because you can, get companions that can assist you, on your journey in the game. And I think that's what it's sort of like, and I think their philosophy, their game pretty much design, the way that the formula works is a little bit more forgiving than what like a From Software game is, but it's definitely in that, vein, except for the control scheme. I never played Neo, so I'm going to assume the control scheme is more like Neo because it's not like the From Software where your attack buttons and stuff like that. Obviously, you guys all played. I'm pretty sure you all played the demo, but so if Neo's gameplay is like that, I'm not. I wouldn't know, but it doesn't control like From Software. So that's more so was an adjustment. But once I got it, I think I'm pretty comfortable with it. And I personally think the game's going to be like more so polarizing. I feel like there's going to be people that hate it, and I think there's going to be people that absolutely love it. In my opinion, based off from what I've seen. But I'll say privately, I think I've recorded myself playing just in case, because my thing was I was like, okay, in the event that I don't like make it through the review period, I could at least put out some content. So I started recording myself playing because I was like fucking stressing out, like raging and shit like that. I was like, hey, if I can't get a review out, I'll at least be able to pull out like some my boss fight moments that pissed me off. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Comes out on Game Pass next week. And then there's a demo with right now where your saves carry over. That came out like yesterday or 2 days ago. Because I know they just put out a demo that where now like if you play the demo, your progress carries over to the full game. So that should be available. That should be available right now. So I don't think I'm like saying too much of anything wrong because I think that should all be public information and available in the demo too. Dre.
Yeah, I think Dre's up or things up.
Oh shit, Dre! What's up, my
y'all?
guy?
What's up, y'all?
What's up,
Hey!
What's happening?
Yo, I miss you, by the way, Dre.
I miss you too, big
I miss you.
That's so sweet of him.
Man, what? I miss Dre, man. I'm just talking to this man.
Yeah,
He's a good guy to talk to.
Dre's an awesome person to talk to, especially about video games.
I appreciate it.
So, and you're still off Twitter.
Yeah, man. I probably won't be coming back. It ain't nothing for me there now. So
not that's fine. I see it. I've been lately on my best behavior or my better behavior on that platform, and I'm I because of my lack of urgency on my Twitter account is probably going to deactivate next month if I don't turn off 2-point verification or pay for it, Twitter Blue, because they're locking that feature behind a paywall. Shout out to Elon Musk because
you gotta get that money.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I don't know if Twitter's like I don't know an app worth paying for, bro. But Dre, what you been playing? You playing on that PSVR too?
But I kind of want it though, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of want to pick it up. Because reviews say a lot of good things about it. I've been seeing I seen BG play it. I think Persona and Jay Barry got it.
Yep.
I kind of want it though. I ain't gonna hold you. I do kind of want it, but that price tag, like if it come down in price in about a year or so, I'm gonna cop it. But half a band for VR, I mean, it could be worse. I'm not trying to steer nobody away from it, but
yeah, what was it, 5 or 6?
It's like $550. Yeah.
Just the same price
or
as the
$600
PS5
for the Horizon bundle.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good, which I'm hearing is a good price for what you get in the tech that's inside it. So, but
sounds like some FOMO to me, dog. Get hit with some FOMO.
Well, my son has a Quest 2, one of them. And like, so I've tried out VR and it's legit, I think so anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna need that price to come down a little bit. But
I don't see.
other,
I don't know. Well, it may actually.
yeah, other than that, I've just been on the early game of the year contender, Hogwarts Legacy.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of mad though, cause my first playthrough had a quest bug, and which stopped me from like 100%ing the collections or whatever they call it. So I have to do. I'm doing another full playthrough just so I can get this damn platinum, man.
Man.
And I put like 40 something hours into the first playthrough. This is probably gonna be another 30 something hours, and then you got to play it 2 more times, but you only got to get to a certain point so like there's a trophy where you have to play each house and get to a certain point in the game to unlock the trophy. So you got to play it like 4 times. I mean, not like full playthroughs, but one full playthrough.
You gotta get to that part.
Yeah, and 3 playthroughs with getting to that part. So
bro, that takes way too much time.
There's no way I'm getting no 100% completion.
Bro.
I'll be good with whatever. I probably finish the game with like 44 to 52%.
Exactly.
I really want to play Atomic Heart right now. Like I don't give a fuck what the reviews say. That game looks fire to me, dog.
It looks good.
The reviews aren't even that bad.
Good.
It's in the mid 70s to high 70s.
Yeah, it seems like
that's true.
Like people think they're like that's a bad score. It's not a bad score.
Yeah, it's like it's going both ways. Where it's like some reviews love it, some reviewers are like, oh, I couldn't tolerate it. But I mean, yeah, reviewers are going both ways. Like reviewers, I like to see. Like ACG said, he loves it. It's a buy immediately. And then like Skill Up was like, nah, I can't recommend it. So it's like, I mean, it all depends.
There's a lot of diversity in the scores for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you also got to consider a couple things. You know where that studio is from. So there's some people
that as well. There could be some political agendas. True.
But so I really want to play that. I heard from the grapevine that it plays best on PS5 on console. That's what I heard.
That's what Digital Foundry said.
I don't know. I didn't watch. I didn't watch the Digital Foundry video. Did they do it before the patch or after the patch? Because I know I didn't play the game day one, and when I look, the game came out the 22nd or the 23rd.
21st.
The 21st. Yeah. I launched the game on the 23rd. Whatever day that I played it, it wasn't when the game first came out, but I had like a 62 gig patch update. That pretty much reinstalled the game. So I'm not sure what that meant, but I but then again, I didn't play far enough into it. But to me, it plays. Pass, right? It's on Game Pass. So like, that's where it plays best to me, where I gotta pay for it.
All I know is it runs flawlessly on PC. Thank God for shader caching.
And it's a good looking game.
It is a good looking game.
That game looked crazy, dog.
I'm one thing I am mad about is I'm mad that it doesn't have ray tracing on PC. Which that was literally one of the first games that was ever shown with ray tracing to say, it's gonna have ray tracing back in like 2017 or 2018, back when Nvidia did their that press conference or whatever, or GDC, bro. That was one of the original games, and it releases without ray tracing. And the thing is, there was a dev build that had came out, before the game release, that leaked, and that build had ray tracing as like a toggle that you could turn on, but it releases with no ray tracing. It's like, bruh, that game with the ray tracing would look fucking stupid. And I saw like a lot of people were like getting hype about the opening where it has those are reflections that look really good. Yeah, and I'm like, bro, that's not ray tracing. And then Digital Foundry came out. Yeah, it's playing our reflections. It's like you look everywhere else, it's screen space reflections, bro.
That's the thing. Like, here's the thing. This is where I start not giving a shit about ray tracing in some cases, especially when it comes to reflections, because there are plenty of games that use their SSR or whatever, cube map, whatever, all sorts of like solutions to give off a realistic reflective look. And when and my thing is like, honestly, if that's the case, man, like ray tracing, I don't really give a damn. Like, because reflections can be imitated to look very well, and I am familiar with that opening section. You get up and you start looking at the ground, the water, and shit like that. And you're like, oh wow, that looks really good. Now I knew for a fact because I'm playing on Xbox that shit wasn't ray tracing, but I'm like,
you're running at 60 and like high res. You're like, nah. You're like, nah.
Well, I was like, but it was the same thing when they did that shit at like, remember when they showed off Forza Horizon for the 5 for the first time on like the Series X and whatnot, and you saw the reflections bouncing off the top of the car. People thought that was ray tracing. It was like, nah, that's not ray tracing. It just looks good. And I remember Dirt 5 in some of those levels where the mud and the water meet, and you get to see the reflections of in like the muddy track from. And I thought that was impressive at the time. This was like when that shit first came out, Dirt 5. And this was early. I was like, damn, are they using ray tracing? And then I asked, this was when David Springate still worked at Cole Masters. And then he's like, nah, it's just like SSR. And I'm like, damn, like what? And then I was like, what the hell is the hype with this ray tracing bullshit? Because here's the thing. Now, of course, there are some games that, and I'm only judging from a console standpoint, Blood. So there are some games where I'm like, okay, that's a good use of ray tracing. But then there's a lot of games that have like poor use of ray tracing, and where I compare them to games that aren't using ray tracing at all for their reflective solutions. And I'm like, these guys should just go back to the kitchen and just use regular. Because every time I see like reflective ray tracing and like mirrors and shit look like all like out of whack, pixelated, muddy, and it always comes with this visual noise that is just there. I don't know what it is, but every time I play a game,
it's the denoiser. It's the denoiser.
Really? I didn't even know that was a thing. But every time I play a game in ray tracing mode on console, it's like displays this film like noise around like the image, and it's unattractive. So I always end up turning it off and whatnot. So, but yeah.
What I will say in terms of that, years ago, back when Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition came out, Digital Foundry's Alex talked about, basically he did a deep dive and he did like a showcase of as to like what a dev would have to do in order to make like lighting, like global illumination, like somewhat realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, you have to, create this like light cascade or whatever he said, light probes. And then he would have to basically model around the entire room to make it seem like the room is being, I think it's called a fill lights. He had to model around the entire room in order to make it seem as though it's like realistic global illumination versus, ray tracing. I literally just hit a toggle and it's done. It's ray tracing. It's not just for us. It's also for devs as well. It can save them literally hours upon hours of actual work to get those planar reflections the way it looked in that opening. That's why it's not in the rest of the game. Because imagine having to do that. Imagine an artist having to do that for every single location that you go to. That will require hundreds of hours of work. Versus ray tracing, it's a toggle. I can tweak the values of said ray tracing, of course. Make sure that it's less grain, less noise. Make sure the performance is up to snuff. But that will require much less effort. In the end result, it will look better. If done correctly, it will look better. That's why ray tracing is so important, and that's why it's going to be the future. Is because not only does it save the devs a ton of hours of work on trying to create, lighting, not just reflections, but global illumination, like light cascades, all that type of stuff. It saves them a ton of work and effort, and it just, for the end user, it looks better to us. If you've ever seen any game that has been fully path traced, like for example, like Quake RTX or Minecraft, that would be the future of next generation games. For example, that's a possibility, and it's just a matter of time, honestly, because the hardware just has to catch up. That's the biggest problem. The hardware has to catch up. But ray tracing is the future, or ray trace / path tracing. That's why it's the future, is because it saves them a ton of time. and ultimately it's going to look better versus someone thinking what good lighting will look like versus what it just naturally is, what's natural to our eyes, basically.
I just want to answer a couple questions. Wait, is there an echo? I've seen somebody type echo. I can hear myself with echo, but the last time I heard the echo and I listened to it on like YouTube, I didn't hear the echo. So I just want to make sure there's really no echo. Okay. Somebody asked me about Shadow Warrior 3 is a definitive edition, like a visual upgrade. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did play it on PlayStation 5 last year when it came out, and essentially I was just playing like I guess the PS4 Pro version. And I think that was at 1080p 60 on PS5 when you played it there. What I'm playing now, I mean, there's a visual upgrade. There's two modes. There's the resolution mode, which I believe is like 30 frames or whatever. And then there's the performance mode, which it's an upgrade over what I played last year.
I think it's like dynamic 4K.
Yeah, but it's just I don't think it's dramatic outside of like resolution. I thought the game looked decent last year, but it just to me it was like, okay, I know this is running at a lower resolution because the game is ashy as all hell. But I saw an opportunity where it could look good, and now it looks proper based off what you get. Addict, what's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing much, guys. I just figured I'd jump in here. I saw you guys live.
Jimmy B Dancing, $2 super chat. I don't want to miss that. He says Wolong Fallen Dynasty Metacritic prediction. I'm gonna go with an 82.
That's a fair one. Probably like I'll say like 80, 85. 85.
75.
Somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah. It's
not from software, so it's gonna land somewhere in
the
Yeah. I think this might be the first. I expect a mid 80s, but this might be the first Team Ninja that might hit 90s.
Mm. Well, I mean, Neo was 90.
Well, there's gonna be another one.
Another one. Banger.
We'll see.
Yeah. So a couple things I want to talk about. So that sort of came up in the news is Shinji Mikami leaving Tango GameWorks. This comes right after they release Hi-Fi Rush. Obviously, he was there. He started Tango GameWorks, and I think in 2012, maybe. But they released Evil Within 1 and 2, obviously Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush. He was also known for like the original Resident Evil series, I think 1 through 4. I think also had a hand in the game Vanquish and whatnot. So legendary dude. And I
put out banger after banger.
Yeah. But a lot of people are saying, this is, a result of Xbox buying Bethesda and whatnot. And so I just want to know your thoughts of like how much is like it's a big deal because he's the studio like head and like what do you guys think Xbox would do or should do in this case? And do you see this as a knock on Xbox and Bethesda?
Yes. Bro, Xbox cannot get fucking good PR to save their fucking life. Outside of Hi-Fi Rush, that was like a small glimmer of hope. Like they cannot fucking get good PR, man.
What do you mean?
Everything that they've done,
everything that happens to them, everything that happens to them laying off, because of, the big tech layoffs and shit. But just everything that happens to them, all the news, all the delays, all the this, that, and third, they just can't catch a break, man.
I don't feel like it's a knock on Xbox. I do feel like that's not the game he wanted to make, and I feel like because it was such a success that and that's not the game he wanted to make, that he just left. Because that's the way that because that game is a success. That's I guess he might feel like that's the way that they have to go moving forward. And he can't make his because they made what's that game? Yeah, they made Ghostwire, right? And that's kind of like quirky, kind of wacky a little bit, and that may be like up his alley. Like that's kind of maybe what he likes to do. But now they might have to, change things around and go with the what works method, and that's probably not what he would wants to do in the future. So he was like, "Yeah, I see the writing on the wall, and I'm just go ahead and dip up out of here and go somewhere else." That's how I look at
even though he did that, he didn't really produce that game. And based off in Addict, I know the ILP they interviewed the producer of that game. Didn't they give them like sort of like pretty much full autonomy to like create whatever they want and see what happens because they supported the game. You know what I mean? So I don't think that was something that he didn't want to make and he had to make. He didn't have to make. That was a side project from like members of his team. If Addict, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, pretty much how it went is he was very adamant about giving his people a little bit of creative freedom. So the moment they were able to get that game greenlit, he was able to get it done. I think you're just looking at one of those. I cashed out. I sold my company to Microsoft. I stayed for the minimum, the duration of whatever contract was signed for me to stay while the transition went through, and now I'm cashing out and riding into the sunset. It sounds like he's lost the passion for actual game development. He sees himself more of like a mentor at this point. Like he doesn't want the like responsibility of being ahead anymore.
I wonder, you saying that it would be insane if he gets picked up like in a month by another studio or some shit.
Yeah, if he goes to like PlayStation or some shit like that, then yeah, that's gonna look like horrible. It's like how that other Drew Murray when he fucking left thing and then he went back to Insomniac and shit like that. So that hurt a little bit. But if Shinji like goes to like, all right, if he goes to like Capcom or Square Enix or whatever, yeah, like I mean that's possible. I don't know, like, or he opens up a new studio. Yeah, then it would be like weird.
I mean, we're also talking about someone that is definitely been in the industry for years. They've been doing this stuff for years. Like he said in that interview, apparently, because I saw some kind of a video. I think it was an IGN video where he said that he just, it seems more of on the I see myself as a mentor now. I think the only reason he was at them for as long as he was is because there was some type of deal that was like, look, we want to buy this company. We're going to give you all this money. And I think, and he pretty much got all that money because it was his company. But I need you to stay around for a certain amount of time to make sure there's a good transition. I wouldn't be surprised in the next, 2 to 3 years, you see Todd Howard leave. I think that, the last game Todd Howard definitely is going to be making, and I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't be shocked if he left, is Elder Scrolls. I don't see Todd Howard past Elder Scrolls. Like, not even a little bit. I mean, hell, we're getting to the point where Phil Spencer might retire by then. Because people keep forgetting these people ain't going to be around forever. They're going to retire.
True.
They're going to walk off in the sunset. Like, they're not doing this shit forever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just a bad look. Yeah.
It is a bad look for Xbox, but this is something that I don't see they had any control over. Just the fact that he's leaving on one of his studios, one of his teams, having such a successful project. Like, there was no reason to leave at that point. It'd be different if, like, he had a bad game or something and they got an argument. He left on a successful. This dude was going to leave regardless what that game did.
Leave on the high note.
Yeah, it's good he gets to leave it on high. And he might go to another company. Someone sees his expertise and see he's a free agent now. Money changed people's opinions on a lot of things. But when the dude got as much money as he made off selling Tango, I'm assuming he got some form of money from Bethesda for selling that game, that studio. Maybe some royalties or something. I don't know. I don't know what kind of deal he made with that game, that company.
Now, do you guys feel like it's been a lot of? Has there been a lot of like departures? Not just like the layoff from 343, but has there been like a lot of departures from Xbox recently? Or am I tripping?
No, I mean that's more so ballooned by the what's the studio Initiative. I mean they probably represent the majority. And also Halo 343, which is explainable, but I think overall, like they've been good. And then okay, the Playground dude, they left to start their own studio. Was it Mike Brown? He led the production on Forza Horizon 5. A lot of people confused because people thought he led the production on all of them, but he only just did Horizon 5. But like they did the Maverick Studios and stuff like that. But stuff like that happens. I don't know why when people leave, like obviously people make big deals, but people weren't making that big of a deal when all those dudes left Japan studios, right? Like when before Sony shut that down.
Oh no. Well, no, there are definitely some downplaying, but Jack and I were definitely on the same page. We were like fuck Sony for doing that shit.
Yeah,
there are definitely people that are downplaying though, but. Yeah, people are like, oh, they're just reorganizing. Like, nah, nigga, bro. Like they like half the heads left the studio, like type shit.
yeah.
It's not just reorganizing. The motherfuckers are getting kicked out.
I mean, it's kind of happened in the industry overall. You just had Jake Sullivan leave 2K, been there for like 25 years. Sure, Midnight Suns came out. That didn't do the best sales wise, but I don't think that was enough for him to leave. He probably was already leaving before that game got out. I mean, what is he gonna do? Go back to XCOM after making a Marvel project? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just he'll probably branch out, make his own studio. That's what happens. You had the people from 2K that the heads leave a year and a half, 2 years ago. No, those people are Rockstar.
Okay. No, yeah, that's Rockstar. That's one of the brothers left.
I thought they both left.
They might have both left. I don't remember, but I know for a fact one of them left for sure.
I mean, I'm all for this, especially if they make their own studio, because guess what? One of the best studios in the industry happened because of that. Respawn. Vance left. He sued Call of Activision and got that money. Started up Respawn, and you could argue that's one of the best studios in the industry right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a case of greatness could come about of that. But I'll say that's few and far between. There, in terms of something like that happening, is few and far between. At least that type of success.
yeah, they're overall, yeah. You mentioned like all the like studios and stuff, and people like leaving. A lot of people, some people going independent, some people starting like new studios, and then we also got to consider all these long times. A lot of people are also just getting old, bro. Like some people, like you know, what I mean? Some people are getting like just getting old, and like it's gonna be a weird time when Phil Spencer is leaving, and then you got to think Ty Howard's gonna like retire soon. I think he has to get out. I think he'll probably go after like Fallout if he doesn't allow Obsidian or an Exile to do it or whatever. But
who? Sorry, I walked away for a second.
No, I was saying like no, people are just getting old, and
these people have been around for years, dude. Like Todd Howard, especially that dude. It's crazy how long that dude's been around. These people, they don't want to do games for the rest of their life. Yeah, they want to retire and chill. I would actually argue that Microsoft buying them might have put a little bit more tank into Todd Howard, because I can almost guarantee you they're like, yo, we're gonna give you these retention checks Todd Howard, yours is going to be longer. Do you want it or not? Like, so it's just like, you know, these people get locked up in contracts and they got to stay around for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to see, what Shinji would, cook up, what his next game would be after the acquisition. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they still got to release Ghostwire Tokyo, which should come out, I think, at the next month. And I wanted to see if, we get like Evil Within 3, or is it going to be a new IP or whatever? But, you know what I mean? Because it was a big deal that him being on like an Xbox studio now, because you had like pretty much Tango as Xbox, Japanese, because that's their source until they can officially get more and whatnot. But it always sucks to see people leave and talented people go, and we know Xbox needs really all the talent they can get. But like for optics, it just doesn't look good, and every time somebody leaves an Xbox studio or whatever, everybody turns it into like some sort of like, gotcha, you see, this is why Xbox shouldn't buy anybody.
Well, the reason people do that is because they just got a bad record about shit right now. If they're delivering like really quality games, I don't think people would be saying that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because at that point, if they're leaving this, they don't have nothing to worry about. The studio's been delivering games, but when the studio ain't delivering games or no games at all at the moment, and then certain key members leave, it's never a good look.
Yeah,
that's true. Shout out to Upchuck Gaming. Oh man, I haven't heard from him in a while. He says, "What up, y'all? Hope y'all as well. Just stopping by. Strong. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Good to see you, Upchuck. Gaming, Jeremy Brown. Just give a quick couple shouts to the people in the chat. Please hit that like button, hit the share button. Let everybody know we're live. So it's always cool to come at you guys on a Saturday afternoon. Man, I just interrupted somebody. Who was it, Bless? Or was it Addict?
I was gonna say, you want to touch on the Returnal coming out for PC?
I haven't touched it. Have any of you played it on PC so far?
I might care about that game, dog.
I've beaten it on PC. You don't care about it?
No,
or you mean just the port? Or you mean don't care about it?
I think people put that game on a higher pedestal than it deserves.
Yeah, like it's not a bad game. Don't get me wrong, but people be acting like that's the best game ever made.
Yeah,
you know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of how people act on the Xbox side to Rise and Rome.
Hey, that's a little bit. That's a bit far though.
That's kind of facts though.
It's a better game than that though. Like, let's be honest.
But like Roz was like Xbox's dark horse, and that's exactly what Returnal is. It's like a dark horse for PlayStation. Like some reason people go crazy over this game, and it ain't all that. I mean, it's a cool game, but it ain't all that. To me, anyway, in my
people
opinion.
Saying it's like their favorite game on PlayStation and stuff. I think Kofi said that. It's like, look, okay, I get it. I get it, but like over God of War, all these other games, like he must have just loved that game. Like,
yeah, he liked it, bro. That means that he liked that shit.
Yeah, it's his opinion for sure. No doubt.
Now, all I'll say is I played it, and honestly, I loved it. So, I mean, I give it a solid 9, honestly. That like the music in that game, the atmosphere. By the way, the graphics on PC, bro, I don't know. I don't know what they did with the PS5 version, bro.
It's like a night and day difference.
It's so crazy. Like,
yeah.
Even without turning on ray tracing, it's like, what were they doing with it? Like the resolution, the texture quality. It's like, what?
I guess when it comes to Returnal, like it's one of the few PlayStation games that I just dropped. Like it just wasn't hitting me the way that people was hitting them, and I normally like those type of games that are designed to be a little bit difficult. It's just that game never really resonated with me. I think I got to like the 4th biome or whatever it is, the one where when you switch, you start from there on.
Right.
Yeah. That's the 4th.
Yeah. So it's just like, I get it. People like it, but I will say, man, it reminds me a lot of the Rice and Rome shit, dude. Like every time I talk to the only people I've ever talked to that says that game ain't all that is like BG. Like everyone else is like, oh, this game is like the greatest game on the PlayStation platform. We need a Returnal 2 right now.
People wanted it to have win game of the year.
I forget what other games came out that year, but
I can tell you right now, there was something better than Returnal.
God damn. I mean, okay, but yeah, like, yeah, the PC version is almost flawless. It has like some stutters. It's like traversal though. It you know, compile shaders.
People showing up and supporting.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like because of the amount of that they're asking for. I don't know if it's.
What are they asking for?
Actually, I don't know offhand.
Well, it was.
I bought it on CD Keys for 40. So
I read it was Sony's second highest launch on PC. That's what I read. Yeah, I don't know if that's.
Nah, there's no way. No, it
Behind what?
No, it was one of the lowest
PC games.
Wait, where the hell?
What's the best selling or the
Where?
fastest selling PlayStation PC game? What's number one?
No.
The best
not overall, just like at it for its launch. It was
No,
like the
but what
second.
was the first? I'm just curious.
Oh.
No, it must have been you must have read it's the second worst performing. It was the second worst performing because Uncharted was worst performing, and now this. Yeah, either Uncharted or Sackboy. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, yeah, they're charging 60 for it, so maybe it's like the amount that they're charging for, or maybe it's I don't know, because I mean, the game is definitely like the genre of roguelike started on PC. People love Binding of Isaac on PC. People love fucking there's a couple that I'm thinking of. I don't forget the name of, but yeah, people love roguelikes on PC. But yeah, I'm not sure.
I wonder if the numbers of that cracked number going up to. I wonder how many people's done that.
No, I highly doubt it's gonna be that massive. It's usually cracks are usually proportional to the actual amount of sold, bro. Typically speaking, it's usually proportional to that. So it's not gonna be.
So you're telling me that half of the people playing any game on PC stole that shit? Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, I see what you. I meant to say I meant as in proportional. Like, if Cyberpunk sold 12 million, it would be like, oh, 1 million or 2 million, for example, versus Returnal sells, I don't know, 50,000. 1 million people aren't going to be pirating it. That's what I'm saying. It's proportional. It's a fraction. It's not equivalent, or it's not going to be above the amount of people sold, or how many, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be more than how many were sold. It's going to be proportional to the actual amount sold.
I think you try to downplay that. I do, because I remember
you don't.
I remember when my cousin, because I used to be at my cousin's a lot, and he was downloading crack stuff on Tor websites. I remember like there was a lot of people on those websites downloading that shit.
Yes, a lot of people do pirate games, but actually no. A percentage of people pirate games. It's not the majority, though. Sorry. Yeah, it's not the majority, bro. Like, Cyberpunk, for example, was like immediately piratable. It wasn't like 50% or more pirated. Like, you never saw a headline over that.
Yeah, because there was a lot more stuff to write about CD Projekt Red than people pirating it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's other games that come out $70. Where's the reports about Forspoken being pirated?
Ain't nobody gonna pirate that game.
Oh, here we go. The switching up of narratives.
Ain't nobody gonna pirate that game.
The moving of the goalposts. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna move that goalpost as far as I need to.
This nigga. But no, yeah, pirating is not as big of a problem as people make it out to be. Because if it was, why is everyone basically putting their content on PC if it's that big of a problem? When you want to protect your investment? If it's that
There's
big
a
of a
lot of
problem,
people that
think
do
about
keep
that.
their game from PC though. Like
A
up
lot of
until
people,
recent,
not a lot of devs do that.
I mean,
currently.
would you not agree that one of the reasons that these publishers pull their games off of Steam is so they can have their own form of anti software that's better than they consider what Steam's is?
You can pirate games off of the EA store, Ubisoft. That doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything, bro. Epic
But you
Games,
having more
you can
control
pirate.
over the,
You
you
can
having more, but they have stated that though some of these people do that because they feel like they have more control over the security that's put into their game. Look at BattleNet.
and people can still pirate those games. The only thing, like, well, that's cheaters. That's something different. But yeah, like, no, you can still pirate any. That doesn't change anything. Activision, I mean, it doesn't really change anything, bro.
Okay. Well, I don't do the PC thing, so
Yeah,
I'd never
I'm
take your
just,
word.
I'm informing you. Like, yeah, there doesn't, like, the launcher itself, that doesn't really change anything. You can still pirate the content, but it's not as big of a problem as you'd think it is, because hello, these people, even if they left, guess what? Everyone's coming back to Steam anyway, so that still refutes your point. Ubisoft came back, EA came back to Steam, even Activision. So even then, it's still like, yeah. Even if that was your point, that refutes it right there. So I don't know.
That's a
Pirating is not
Steam has a
it's not that
monopoly
big of a
over the
deal.
PC storefront.
I mean, millions of people would have bought COD on BattleNet regardless if it came to Steam or not. So I mean,
All right.
pirating is not that big of an issue. It's not launcher based. That's all misconceptions.
Other thing that happened this week is
But yeah, that port's fire.
Xbox had or Microsoft had presented their case in front of the EU. In attendance was PlayStation, I think EA, Nvidia, Nintendo, Google, a few other places. Out of that, they struck a deal with Nvidia. Like, if they were to close the deal, Nvidia, have access to Xbox games and Call of Duty, whatever, for 10 years on their streaming platform. Through their so pretty much there's that. People are it looks like there's a positive reaction, except for some of the journalists out in the on that side of the world took exception to Microsoft presentation, and they've been on a roll criticizing Lulu Cheng, who's been very vocal about her opinion and PlayStation's reaction to the deal. She works for Activision. Lulu Cheng, I think she's this, I forgot what the CCO or whatever, but I don't know what her job honestly entails, but I only really started hearing from her after this deal was announced, and after all the FTC and regular responses. But she's very vocal. She says things. She's out there. She's outspoken. She tweets. Obviously, she's heavily in support of the deal. But a lot of these journalists, felt the need to criticize her. They don't like her personality. They don't like her attitude. They don't like the way she tweets. They think she's unprofessional. And
just to keep quiet.
Yeah. So
I agree.
But the thing is, what they didn't know is that Lulu Cheng is all for the smoke, like literally all for the smoke. She don't care. Every time, I think she literally, I'm not saying she's responsible for it, but her response to, what's that, Christopher Dring, what's his name, that does gaming.biz, that journalist. It was so impactful that it caused him to temporarily shut down his Twitter, because she exposed his article and highlighted a bunch of flaws, because he said she was tweeting out memes during the regulation meeting, and that's not true. She called out someone else who literally Googled her title, and they just selected whichever they thought it meant, and it's not what her title was. So she called that like pretty much exploding their talking points and whatnot, and has literally caused these dudes to literally either take down their article or to rewrite it. She's like two for two. And getting people to either change their article or taking it down completely, and it's caused like some like stir. Everybody's like, you know, getting mad and they're calling her unprofessional. But I like to see people stand up for themselves, and they're not supposed to. They're not these talking heads. Like, who are they? What are they supposed to act like to you? You know what I mean? And she says several times, this is not my business account. This is not my work account. This is my personal account. She can say what she but I enjoy the smoke, you know what I mean? That she's given to these dudes, and it's been causing, you know, obviously Dre, since you're not on really like Twitter a lot, but that's really what's been.
I've been peeping, man. I've been peeping a little bit because they have it like on the sites.
Yeah. So that's what's really been going on, and like I said, she's with the smoke. She don't mind people making fun of her. She put out a meme, you know, that bicycle meme when somebody, they had the little kid putting a stick in a bicycle wheel and it trips. It's like, ow, like, so it was like PlayStation. Damn, I got to freaking look up the meme, but it was go ahead.
Is she leaving? Is she one of the ones who are leaving if or when they get bought out?
I don't know.
It just kind of seems like, you know, she's ready for that cash out, and so she's ready.
No, that's exactly what she's doing.
She got time today because she's ready to get paid. Yeah. But you know, go off, lady.
It says like the meme was the kid. It says Sony is the kid on a bike, and it says refuses to accept guaranteed long-term access to COD, putting the stick in the bike spoke, and then when he trips over,
and that's false.
And it says, "What if we lose access to COD?"
That's not true. What you said either. That's not.
Why
true.
is it true? Because you got to think about it.
A 10-year contract is not a lifelong contract, so that's not true.
It's not lifelong, long term. 10 years is long. That's a long ass time.
Well, yeah, 10 years is a long term, but it's not lifelong, and I'm sure that's what Sony wants to see.
Why? Why does Sony can't even guarantee a lifelong agreement on their own game? So like, no, why?
I mean, my thing though, until Sony stops trapping second party deals behind a timed exclusivity that's very vague, I don't give a shit what Microsoft does to them. It's like, look,
that's
like
not the same though.
But
that's not the same.
I get it. It's not the same in the same time, but it's still stripping IPs off of the competitor's platform. It's not Microsoft's fault that Sony don't have the money to go out and buy something like an Activision.
That's true. That is true.
Like they're like, okay, you want to go and get make sure no Final Fantasy properties pretty much come to the platform. You want to make sure Forspoken doesn't come to the platform. You want to make sure it's rumored Persona 6 is on that too. So we gonna buy a whole fucking publisher.
But Xbox, they going about it so scum though, man. Like,
what do you mean scum? How is it scum?
Because like this, like I've been seeing the graphs, the 80-20. I don't think that's legit.
No. Okay, all right, yeah, it is legit. You know why?
Why?
It's legit because the regulators opted to remove Nintendo as a competitor. So now they isolated Xbox and PlayStation as high performing consoles. So so now Microsoft have to argue where they stand in a two-party market.
I didn't know that they opted to remove Nintendo as
FTC UK literally, because if you this is why I don't like these motherfuckers, right? Because if you keep Nintendo as a competitor, it obliterates this whole dominance because Nintendo doesn't have Call of Duty and they're like the best-selling platform.
But Nintendo is a competitor though, so why
because it doesn't go for their narrative.
It doesn't help the case because. What they're trying to say is purchasing Activision Blizzard, which should be deemed illegal, and it gives the competitor a too much of an advantage. But you got to consider, Nintendo is a competitor. They don't have Call of Duty. If you keep Nintendo in that argument, it doesn't help the FTC's case, and it definitely doesn't help PlayStation's case. So that's why
Nintendo doesn't get it at all.
They don't get it at all.
Right. Okay.
So that's why. So when Microsoft was like, "All right, we're going to offer Nintendo the game," that's 150 plus, million people without access to the game on that platform. And then it was like, "Well, it doesn't. That doesn't really, matter because they're in a different market." And like, bro, you can't do that. They all sell video games. So that's why, every time I think about this whole thing of why this stuff is taking this long to go through it, I'm like, "Yo, are they is this really need a real investigation, or these dudes are just doing whatever they can to help out PlayStation?" Because
it's funny that they're willing to separate Nintendo from the competition because they don't really do handhelds and stuff. Then why ain't they separating Sony from the competition because they don't do cloud computing? Like it's just like it makes that argument makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so that's the reason why you see that graph of 80-20, because pretty much the FTC, the UK, whatever, they all decided that, hey, we're going to not count Nintendo as a competitor in this agreement. So because they lost it day one, because Nintendo is proven to show that they can survive and compete with PlayStation and Xbox without a Call of Duty game in their library.
It's crazy, man.
So they eliminated them. So now Microsoft, even though that's not fair, and that should be challenged to death, but so they was like, okay, so even if you remove Nintendo, now we're getting bodied even worse, because especially in the
it does help them a little bit.
But they 80-20 though.
If you're saying PlayStation versus Xbox in Europe is 80-20.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't, man. That don't sound right.
You gotta think about it. There's some places in Europe that don't even sell Xbox.
Europe is super Sony oriented. Versus US is, Xbox's strongest territory.
Yeah.
By far. And it's like 50-50 here. Not even. That's their strongest territory. Europe being 80-20 makes perfect sense to me. Honestly.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of the pool they had there when they lost the FIFA licensing too.
Yeah, FIFA was definitely big thing in Europe for sure. So it is what it is.
At the end of the day, I don't even give a fuck at this point. Don't go through. Just let this shit end.
I think it's gonna go through, man. I mean,
it'll be funny if they take it to court because of all this going on, and Microsoft wins the hearing, and they end up passing with no restriction whatsoever.
That's what I want to see happen. Everybody else is going to pass this thing without any restrictions. The only ones that's going to require concessions are the ones where they are offering remedies, and that is, the EU, the CMA, and the FTC. Sure, the EU could take whatever they heard and pass it without. The best thing that could happen if they pass any of this stuff without agreements. Now, my thing is, if they have passed these deals with the concessions that Microsoft has offered, right, and PlayStation decides to take the deal, does not decide to take the deal, right?
A 10-year deal is trash.
They would effectively cancel themselves from Call of Duty. Think about it.
I wouldn't take that deal either, though.
What do you mean? All right, so
10 years is garbage, dog. For the biggest game each year, the best
game that could probably die for good in 3 years.
The thing is, though, I don't blame PlayStation for doing what they're doing, because there's that what they're doing is working to a degree. It does look like they might be able to cancel it. Why would you take a 10-year deal when you could potentially cancel
if the deal closes? Are you taking a 10-year deal? And remember, Microsoft didn't have a 10-year deal with Minecraft. Microsoft didn't have a 10-year deal with Minecraft. They just keep renewing.
The question is, if there's a 10-year, if the deal closes and there's no restrictions, is Microsoft willing to give them that 10-year deal anymore?
I wouldn't. I'd kick rocks. I would say kick rocks with open-toed sandals. So that's what I would do. I was like, go kick rocks with open-toed sandals.
If Microsoft was looking at it from a business standpoint, they would keep it on PlayStation. But if they're looking at it as if they're looking at it as a FU, we don't give a fuck, and they still think they can replicate the numbers that they have been without PlayStation, then there you go. But if they can't, then it would be no point not to keep it on PlayStation.
My thing is, why is 10 years good for Nintendo and good for Nvidia and
because Nintendo doesn't
because they don't even get it and they don't need it. It's not their primary audience.
At the end of the day, this deal could have. For example, if you didn't have this big ass nose regulators that we got now, if this, I'll say this: if we were still under like Trump's administration, this deal is getting passed with no sort of type of concessions, regardless, right?
Well, of course it is.
So my thing, if it was the situation like that, and you were under the same stipulations that Microsoft had under ZeniMax, right? Then what? How would you feel about that? But the thing is like I don't understand what's not like good enough. PlayStation's got 10 years to come up with a competitor. Right? They could literally
that's not long enough. How long has Call of Duty been around? 20 plus years?
Yeah, but how long has it been very, very popular? It's only been popular since like 2007. Hold on, I'll be back. Hold on.
I mean, Call of Duty 2 was a launch game for the 360, right? And I think that was pretty popular. I mean, I don't think it had. Did it have online when it launched for the 360?
I don't know. I think it always had online for PC, but I'm not sure. I forgot it even launched on consoles back then.
Yeah, that was the first game I played on 360. Was that Call of Duty? I think it was Call of Duty 2.
I'm curious.
Oh shit!
I'm curious if the deal doesn't go through. Is Activision? Is there going to be a lot of like beef between Activision and PlayStation? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things that they'll still put it on PlayStation, but it's like you're pretty much. Microsoft will auto get all the marketing deals, like because when you're looking at the shareholders and all the executives and the people that you literally cost billions of dollars to, I'm very hard to believe that they're just going to ignore that. Like there's going to be
give me 1 second. I gotta get this super chat. I almost missed it for Carl Andrews Jr. He said left a super chat for $9.99. He says. This deal needs to go through, and PlayStation needs to stop acting like this is going to ruin them. They don't want Microsoft controlling the terms of the agreement, rather talk to Bobby.
Dog, it's the best-selling game every year. The outside of a GTA, it's the biggest game every year, dog. Of course, they're going to want to try to stop that, man.
It's literally Jim Ryan's job to try to stop that. But at the same time, you know, if your stuff doesn't work and whatever you've done doesn't work, it's like, where does it end at that point? Like,
I mean, they're just gonna hope that someone stops it and then it goes. They fucking deal with years of litigation and fucking hopefully it pans out in their favor. But if Activision if the deal doesn't go through, PlayStation gonna have them niggas kneeling like, yo, kiss my toes, nigga.
But
you got to get back in good graces with PlayStation.
I don't think it happens with that leadership. They're gonna have to wait for the leadership to retire or leave before they can start repairing those relationships.
What's up with this Xbox goodwill all of a sudden, man? Like all of a sudden they want to put their games on the Shield and they want to put their games on Nintendo.
Oh, they're trying to get that Call of Duty on Game Pass.
Like, what's up with that? Like, why weren't they doing all this before? Like anything?
They didn't have to, but now they do.
Yeah, you know exactly why. But I was gonna say, I thought that was very interesting that they're putting 10-year agreement with GeForce Now, which is
like, who playing that
honestly. I mean, that shit's better than the Game Pass streaming. You can stream it like it's a PC. It's literally a PC. It has better latency, and it's a PC. You have all the graphical settings, all that shit.
So I ain't never heard nobody say, "I'm about to go play that GeForce Now, dog." We about,
that's irrelevant. I mean, I don't hear people talk about streaming at all. So I mean, that's an irrelevant point. But I'm saying it's the best in terms of streaming. It is the best. So I think that's interesting.
I think it's mainly like there's certain things that Microsoft is not willing to do to make this Call of Duty to go through. I would say that, spinning off Call of Duty off into its own company, I don't think they're willing to do that. Making it to where they can't put it in Game Pass, I think that's a deal breaker too. But letting Nvidia get something that they're probably going to make money off in the end, because it's not like all this is for free. Like they're still gonna have to pay some kind of compensation for this. So they just like, okay, give them it, like, because if anything, since they're in cloud computing, it's just gonna make it easier for them to sell xCloud because there's more people willing to get into this sphere.
If this,
And then
if
you know when the 10 years is up and you feel like you're done with them, they won't renew it. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. After the 10 years is up,
10 years is not a long time. 10 years is literally.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I was gonna say if Activision keeps Call of Duty every year, that is a long time. That's a lot of money.
But that's like 2.5 rotations of Call of Duties. That's all. Like it'd be different if it was like a 20, 30 year, but 10 years. Now I will say that
keep in mind how long. Well, I'll say keep in mind how long COD has even been like super relevant like that. It's only been since like 2009 with Modern Warfare 2, right? Or Modern Warfare. It's only been like 14 years. To be honest with you, like think about it like that. Think about like how long it's been super relevant. It hasn't even been 20 years yet since it's been super relevant. So 10 years is a long time.
This is why I hate the Bungie deal that Sony did with Bungie. I fucking hate it.
But yeah, that's if Activision keeps it.
Why do you hate it?
Every year though. That's if they keep it.
I mean, because if Microsoft, can pull something like this. I mean, not pull something like this because it's legit, but you know what I mean? Like a Bungie isn't under PlayStation Studios, so they're not obligated to make PlayStation exclusives. You know what I mean? So if Microsoft were to take Call of Duty off of PlayStation, we would have a backup with Bungie, but you know what I mean? Or we would have a fighting card with Bungie, but they seem to stay to keep going multiplat. It's like, fuck the deal. What was the deal for it, man? I mean, I get it from a business standpoint, from a player standpoint. What was the deal for if we not getting exclusive games? So
Sony making deals to make money and not to help consumers. Oh, well, at least that one was for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. There's 3 studios who I think if this deal goes through, Sony needs to be on the phone ASAP with these studios, man.
Cool.
That's CD Projekt Red. Asobo Studios and Capcom. They need to be on that phone ASAP if this deal goes through. Sony.
How would that help them fight Call of Duty?
Please.
Well, I mean, it's not going to help them fight Call of Duty. It's not going to help them fight Call of Duty, but it's going to.
That's going to fuck up. That's going to change. That's going to change the market. That's going to change the market if they purchase a publisher. Purchasing a studio, them buying Asobo I would be okay with. I think I would be okay with. I know like that. Well, I won't be completely okay with because day and date on PC, but I would be okay with generally speaking because it's not going to affect the market. It's not going to shift the market entirely. That's just going to fuck up Microsoft themselves because Microsoft Flight Sim was made by them. So that's going to fuck up Microsoft directly. But it wouldn't fuck up.
Sony, it doesn't benefit Sony to get somebody like a Sobo. So outside of Flight Sim, like they make, games that, PlayStation typically makes, which is the
exactly.
But why would wouldn't it be wise for PlayStation to diversify their offering? So I would say Sony can make a power move, right? They can make a power move, like they can go for a publisher who wants to sell like EA or Ubisoft, or they can go ahead and finish off Square Enix and they bitch asses.
I would take EA too. I would take EA too.
I was gonna say the funny thing about diversifying Smooth is Sony's been trying to do the least amount of that. They're trying to stop diversifying. That's what they've been doing for the last 6 years. I mean, we're about to have a Horizon 3 on the horizon. They're about to have a Horizon VR game. About to have a Horizon yada yada. They're about to bring back Uncharted. They're about to make they're probably gonna do another God of War game in a little bit, or based on a new mythology. Nah, they diversifying. No, they're trying to consolidate. Unless you're looking at PSVR, which is completely that is diversity in a sense for sure. But in terms of their console wise, they're not looking for diversity. They're looking for solid. What do you call it?
One thing. So PlayStation,
a risk adverse. They're trying to look for risk adverse content, and that would be risk adverse because a Plague Tale is Sony type shit.
Yeah. I still think the Bungie acquisition is the dumbest acquisition and that they've done. The price and for what they get, they're not getting anything. They're not even getting like I've never seen like it's like they married a it's like they got into an open marriage.
Yeah,
like
which that's a good way to put it.
I think Bungie. I'm gonna say this about Bungie, right? I think Bungie literally is probably a headache for any publisher they partnered with. There's something about them where it just doesn't work. They can't uphold their commitments. They had obviously the issue with Microsoft, and that allowed them to walk. They had their issue with Activision after entering in what I don't know how many year agreement with Activision for Destiny. That obviously didn't survive its terms. And they did all that to get to have freedom just to get bought out by PlayStation and somehow negotiated this weird ass term. If I'm PlayStation, the next CEO of PlayStation probably ain't gonna like that too much and probably gonna drop their ass. So
you think they're pretentious? That's why they're just like a they're just high maintenance. Like fuck these niggas.
Yeah, like
a high maintenance female. That's what you think.
They could be.
I just don't. I don't see.
Like,
I don't understand what it is. Is like with Bungie. I felt like when they first purchased them, I felt like it was just like a reactionary move. And my thing is like how you gonna purchase somebody with no real benefit, right? Like
exactly. Now that's what I'm saying. Like this could have been a great competitor to the Activision with Microsoft, but no, you know what I mean. Retarded, but.
I think their future games going to be on PlayStation only.
I'm gonna tell you guys this.
Wait for who?
If they because they said in their post that their next game and all their games that they make will
multiplayer
will be multi-plat. Games as a service. Multiplayer. Everybody playing with each other.
Let's see how quick that changes if the Call of Duty deal goes through.
Sony like, hey, we know we told you, but nah, nigga.
So
they have
you gotta switch up.
Like Bungie has like contracts that says that like they can't be dictated to that degree.
Yeah,
but people act like Bungie's people can't be corrupt.
Oh, my thing is
money.
I think damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. Damn, bro, I hate forgetting what the hell I was gonna say, man. I think I feel like I had a good point. Yeah, I can carry on until I remember this shit.
I don't know that Destiny deal, just the Bungie deal. I mean, it just makes no sense.
Oh, there we go. My bad. I think this whole case with Activision, Blizzard, and PlayStation, and the regulators trying to force people to be status quo and all this other stuff. I think it's literally gonna bring something up where I'm almost certain these platform exclusives are gonna be deemed illegal probably after this case, because we got to consider what's being forced to happen with acquisition. So every time Microsoft or PlayStation buys somebody, if they're going to go through scrutiny, they have to guarantee these games on other platforms.
It's not even that too. Up until now, when it comes to regulation, but besides a few incidences in history, like the regulators usually stayed out of the gaming industry. They didn't really butt their head too much into it. Now, this high profile case, and now these congressmen and people in other countries are starting to be aware. A lot of these people don't play games. And they're like, oh, it makes this much money?
I do want to say the geeky nerd in the chat brought up a good point. Yeah, multiplayer doesn't necessarily mean everywhere. That's true. They could just be off Xbox, just like Octopath Traveler 2 type shit. It's like, oh, it's on everything.
We just stupid. And what the stupid Baldur's Gate game that they're doing, I can't.
What's up with that?
I don't know. I can't stand developers. Some developers and publishers just get on my nerve with some of the stupid stuff they do. And you know what I mean? It's like either you're incompetent or you're incompetent, bro. I don't want to hear any sort of like excuses of why this game isn't coming. And I don't even care about Baldur's Gate. I wouldn't play it no way, whether it was on Game Pass or whether it was.
It's not coming at all the Xbox.
I don't know where it is. It's not all. It hasn't been announced for Xbox,
all.
even though you would think all the other Baldur's Gate games I think are on Xbox right now.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, it's funny.
PlayStation dudes don't even play games like that, though.
They don't.
They don't play those type of RP like those type of games. So it's weird.
Sony fanboys hyping that shit up, and they're calling that an exclusive. But you know, console. They're calling that an exclusive, console exclusive. Now they're recognizing that terminology for that game, but every other Microsoft game, they don't have exclusives.
I'm pretty sure it'll come to
fanboys.
Xbox.
Are fanboys.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, it'll come to Xbox. The funny thing is you have all these people fanboying this game now, and it's like I bet you none of them played original Divinity 2. Like none of them did.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
I played that on 2 different platforms. So.
I do remember Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the PS2. Like that's the only one I remember though.
The one game I did play that's like in that type of sense of type of combat was Wolcen. I didn't beat it. I got nowhere near beating it. I gave up on the first boss. I was just trying it out though. I was just trying to see if I like it or not. But yeah, I honestly somebody put me on the Baldur's Gate, and I'm probably gonna get 3. I definitely didn't play the other games though. I
would rather have Diablo over Baldur's Gate. I don't know nothing about Baldur's Gate like that.
I heard it's early access on PC, and I heard like just the content right there is like already expansive as fuck, and it's like really good. And like story wise, it's really good already type shit. So I don't know.
Watch them be holding because it's a small studio. Watch them. They're like one of those AA I consider that punches their way into AAA. So
nice
they're a AA studio making AAA games. And watch them be like, what we gonna do?
Isn't that like how Aspire is? Like
when they were trying to make the Star Wars game?
Who knows what's gonna happen with that crap, man.
They're like, okay, is the Xbox versions done? Yeah, they're done. Okay, so we're gonna let's announce what we could do? Like what? Let's say that Xbox, let's not even leave that Xbox in that marketing. Why would we ever do that? So Microsoft hits us up 6 months later for that Game Pass bag.
Bruh. Nah, come on now. They need dev kits. They need Xbox dev kits to work on the port.
They don't have the dev.
No. I'm saying like you need
has dev kits. But here's the thing: they people can get those dev kits just by buying them. You don't think the majority of these studios don't have those dev kits just naturally?
No, I mean I would imagine you have to contact Microsoft, or you'd have to contact Microsoft specifically. I mean, I know. For example, like Gamers Nexus and Linus like have recently got access to like what do you call it, like Xbox Series X dev kit, but that was like they paid like crazy amount of like 10 G's out of pocket. Well, actually no, that's actually like the regular price of it, but they paid extra out of pocket for it. But and they bought it from a third party site where it's like, oh, this guy just had dev kits and he was selling them. He's not supposed to sell them, of course, but regularly speaking, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get the dev kits from the actual company itself.
You do. Like, but my thing is they're making Divinity. Like I guarantee you they've had access to these dev kits for a while now. They got them from another project. I have a couple friends that's in that field. I'll ask them exactly how that kind of like process is. I'll get back to you on that.
Right. I want to ask you guys this before we get out of here. Like I missed the PlayStation State of Play event. I assume, I'm just going off assumption, the biggest game there was either Suicide Squad and probably some VR stuff, right?
I mean,
Capcom carried. Suicide Squad was there.
How is Suicide Squad looking?
Trash. It's a game as a service game, and it's not what we wanted.
I have a controversial opinion. I'm still looking. I'm still see what's up. I'm still holding out faith, bro. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, fuck this game. I'm still holding out faith.
You got to be always online, dog. Like,
I mean, I'm always on my PC, always online anyway. So,
I mean, but they touted that. Well, they don't tout it.
It is.
They say you can play single player. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not really tailor made for single player, but you can play single player. But you got to always be online, though.
I think it's the same thing as Redfall. Like originally, they wanted to promote it as what they made it for, but they started seeing the negativity going into it. So they're like, let's just go ahead and market it as something that it can do, but it's not designed for.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not for games to be always online. I think that's kind of silly. But, I mean, to be fair, I am playing on PC. And if it's on Steam, I have to be online anyway, unless, DRM checks on Steam. But, I mean, I don't know. I thought the gameplay was okay. I think the sound design is bad. But I think the gameplay looks like it can be fun. I just really hope that they do something actually special for actual, I don't know, more like story type missions, more along the lines of, honestly, Marvel's Avengers, because Marvel's Avengers story, it had like good segments in it of story type missions. It's just the overall package was not there. But if they have like good solid story segment like missions, like, oh, I get to play Harley Quinn for this specific mission, and I'm infiltrating something, or shit like that. And hopefully, like, the boss fights are good and shit like that. Which they haven't shown any type of boss. We've never seen any combat of them fighting the actual Justice League, which is kind of scary. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for reviews. I'm not buying it day one. I'm just gonna wait for reviews and see what the fuck happens. But I'm not totally writing it off. That's just me. I don't know.
It'll be a wait for a sale for me.
That is that goes past so for me, man. There's day one, sell, Game Pass, and then there's like, you got to give me that shit epic. Like,
you gotta give me that shit, bruh.
But I mean, the overall show wasn't all that hot either. But it was a third party show. Like,
that show was a PSVR show. I didn't watch it the time of. I was just skipping through, but I was like, it's a PSVR show.
Yeah, I mean, it was third party. I mean, I can understand people getting upset, but they make it seem like this was a showcase. You know what I mean? Yeah. The way they didn't like it. And
better question is, when the hell are they going to do a showcase?
Yeah, they haven't done it.
That's what I said on Twitter, bro.
Sometime in 2021.
Man. It was a year and a half ago. It's about to be they're about to hit their 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. Wow.
2-year anniversary.
But you know what? At the end of the day,
they
still been able to release games at a regular cadence. So what really do you need a showcase for?
To see what the future holds, man. Like, that's the whole point.
They showed you the future 2 years ago when they showed you Wolverine and all those other shit.
We needed to see another future. We need to see another future because. We know Spider-Man 2 comes out this year, but we don't know.
They showed y'all, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, Pragmata
trailers.
Yeah, but that's
trailer.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah, Pragmata. We haven't heard a peep.
Nothing.
I know you got a bunch of games in development from all the studios they bought, like the Haven Studio, the Fire Sprite Studio, whatever.
It's been confirmed a lot of them are working on those multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't. Why didn't they show Stellar Blade?
Blade. That's
supposedly coming out this year.
Oh, that's the one they stole. It was a multi-plat, and they stole it as an exclusive.
So, is it exclusive?
It's exclusive. Yeah, it was supposed to be when it was its project name. It was a multi-plat, but now that
I thought it was a multi-plat. That's why I said Stellar Blade. My fault.
Man, we still haven't gotten no gameplay for Factions 2, bro. What the fuck
you haven't even gotten a trailer for Factions 2,
bro?
That's what I'm saying. We need to showcase, dog. 'Cause we don't know nothing,
we
man.
we
Like,
need we that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we definitely need this fucking showcase.
Part of me
And it's
feels
been
like
spooky. No one's even been talking about it besides like Jack on the timeline.
It's released VR, man.
Yeah, it's just VR like that. That would
Yeah,
just
but-
VR. It's like, oh yeah, just worry about VR. Like honestly, cool VR. But like, what about your core fan base? What about
Exactly.
or anyone that just wants to play a PlayStation game not via VR? Like,
part of me thinks that you're going to get that showcase this year, but this year's mainly going to be like a big title like Spider-Man 2, some AA stuff, and VR as a distraction. Like I feel like that's what 2023 is for PlayStation.
hold on, real quick. This dick eater, Aaron. When did I defend Sony?
Stop.
When I said they need to show us some games. How is that defending Sony? Dick eater.
God damn.
How is that defending Sony?
You got Logan to say something.
I said
Yeah, I've
it
been
was
letting you guys just do your own thing. All right,
Oh,
I'm
that's
just here to
so
listen.
funny. Like,
I said it was because I said it was a bad
man.
showcase, but it was third party. So what did people expect? This wasn't a exclusive showcase. It wasn't a PS5 showcase.
Yeah.
Dick muncher.
okay, I was just saying
That's stupid.
maybe just less PSVR, more other games. That's the only
Well,
thing
we
I
got
can
to
think
see
of.
more PSVR being that it just came out. So they have to, like, there's got to be a healthy focus on PSVR.
They should have just announced, PC compatibility, but here's the here's the third party games that people actually care about. Because I don't know.
It's not.
Or
what I
just
said.
announce a showcase, man. They haven't said shit.
Well, yeah,
Which is weird, 'cause
maybe
that's
they're
not
waiting for
like-
this Activision deal to freaking go through so they can start boasting about other game releases. Because
You know, it'd be funny.
Low
They
key.
the Activision deal goes through and they announce like 10 timed exclusives.
because announcing exclusives right now for PlayStation would not be helping their case, especially when Xbox is subpoenaing them for stuff like their shady exclusivity deals and whatnot. So, it probably wouldn't be best to start highlighting those things of a bunch of games that they're announced that's not coming to Xbox, that could clearly come to Xbox, that's not made by them. I'm sure they got acquisitions and stuff that they want to make that's leaving them like kind of uncomfortable to announce and whatnot. Because when Sony makes an acquisition outside of Bungie, there is no question of if the games. I think if PlayStation buys like a multi-plat studio or publisher, I don't think they'll even honor games that are in development for a multi-plat. That's just how.
Yes, they would.
It just depends how much it would cost them. If it wouldn't cost them a whole lot, I don't think they would. But if it didn't make sense financially or the game wasn't big enough, I don't think they would.
Just saying, bro. Like
That's funny.
But I think that's the reason why they're trying. It's hard for PlayStation to look weak, look like they're the underdog, or look like they're in threat of losing market share. So they'll just.
You know what? My fault. I ain't mean to cut you off, but that's another thing that kind of, because been reading, that kind of pissed me off. Microsoft is making it seem like the dominance that PlayStation has isn't deserved. You know what I mean? They're making it seem like they're bullying Xbox.
No,
and it's not deserved when they've had 20 plus years of great games. It's not like they're not releasing great games to deserve this dominance.
No, I don't think I don't think Microsoft is making it seem like PlayStation's doing something undeservedly or wrong. They're just highlighting hey, you guys are saying competition, but you guys are trying to prevent us from do this deal. Meanwhile, PlayStation's lead on us is not threatened, that it's not in threat. No matter what we do, their PlayStation's lead over Xbox is not going to be threatened. PlayStation fanboys are so blind and so stupid. Microsoft could buy the rest of the publishers, and PlayStation be but my God of War and Last of Us, I want nothing else. That's exactly.
Bruh.
So it's to prove that they're not in threat of anything with this move, but the things that they do make point, and I think they should continue to highlight is that, hey, you know, their business practices with other third-party publishers and the fact that they have a lot more exclusive games, you know, over
But
Xbox.
why can't Xbox just make better games? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's a good question.
make better games that can compete with Sony games. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, they're trying to make it seem like Sony is bullying them in their dominance. Make better games to compete with Sony games.
You know what you should do?
What's up?
You know your Halo, Gears, and Forza?
Yeah.
You should make a diss song about like the 3 highest PlayStation games.
Yeah, you should make a God of War Horizon. Sorry, yeah, God of War Horizon Uncharted, or Last of Us, either or.
Yeah, it's hard.
Probably Uncharted. That makes more sense.
Well, Last of Us is more popular, and they had more games than Uncharted. Believe it or not, with those 2 games, I'm probably wrong, but I'm pretty close.
What?
Oh, what you say?
I'm almost.
Uncharted has 6
Like,
games.
6 games.
And Last of Us,
6, nigga.
goddamn near. Oh, Last of Us, yeah, Last of Us. Last of
Last
Us,
of Us 2.
Last of Us 2, Last of Us
Last of Us
Remastered, Last of Us
Last
Part
of
1,
Us-
and you also got yeah.
That's not 6,
You got
though.
it. It's 4. It's
Don't do
4.
that.
How you get 4 games out of 2 games, bro? Like,
I mean, I agree with you.
Don't
I
do that.
mean, I agree with you. I mean, all right, yeah, maybe Last of Us will work better. Huh?
But wasn't it Xbox who said that the console sales don't matter? Wasn't it them who said that?
Oh,
yeah, but that's not the
Obviously, it
argument,
matters
though.
now, right?
Well, yeah, because the regulars are making it a point for about console exclusive and platform
But
exclusive.
why can't
So they have
Xbox
to
stand
argue
on
that
that
now.
though?
Because
They-
the regulators are pretty much saying, hey, we don't want you to buy this because of you're threatening the PlayStation 5. I'm like, what? But the PlayStation 5 is outselling the Xbox like 2-3 to 1. So why is that even the issue? So that's the reason why they're pretty much are being forced to fight points because they want the deal to go through. It's not really like whether they care or not. It's just that they're being forced to do this market, just like they're being forced to give PlayStation market share over any other platform, since the regulators don't want to count other platforms' existence. They let Google in the room, even though Google canceled their gaming service.
Right.
Like, why do they have a seat at the table? They have nothing to argue. They could have kept their service open, but now they have no point to argue. I can see if Stadia was still alive and kicking, they could say, yeah, this is going to harm us. We won't be able to get Call of Duty. But they can't say that shit because they have nothing. They literally have nothing. So what point do they hold? They can't say, oh, we quit because we heard rumor Xbox was buying Activision. Them killing the Activision deal isn't going to revive Stadia.
I think Google took like a huge play in the mobile market. That's probably why they were in there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't matter. It's not like Candy Crush is going to leave the Google Play Store. That's not happening.
Yeah, it's true that.
that's true. How do you guys feel about Nintendo getting COD?
I'm just curious to see how they're going to do it.
I think it's going to be
Nintendo's had COD before though.
Yeah, on the Wii U, but now
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I mean, but
2013 was the last COD.
It worked
on
though.
Nintendo.
It worked. So I mean, I don't see what would be. Besides visually,
all they gotta do is
You know what I mean?
keep the last gen version alive to get the support,
Right.
the Switch version of COD. Like, even if they don't make like they just have to keep the PS4 and Xbox One version existing, because that'll be the one that'll run on a Switch at 30 frames per second.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny.
yeah.
They're going to end up having to continue to put that on the Switch, and it doesn't sell well, but they got to do it for 10 years.
right.
Yeah, that should. Yeah, fucking Christ, man. Honestly, I think streaming is the only way. But even then, there's only so much you can do from streaming to where it's. I mean, the performance is still gonna matter for that tablet itself because the CPU is not that strong. It's like, yeah, you can stream it, but it still will be a terrible experience. Like, you're not gonna get a consistent 30 FPS on a demanding game like COD. You're just not.
Mhm.
It still has its boundaries, which is fucking insane to me.
Yeah, but
So I I don't see how they're gonna do that for 10 years. Of course, we definitely will need the Switch successor to even keep this going. Because
Well, I need you guys to
that would be
stop buying
the
the old
largest
Switch.
bottleneck, bro.
Stop buying that Switch.
Yeah, they need to stop buying that bullshit.
Yeah, but I hate the fact that that gaming got so popular with regulators and politicians once. It all started with that Skeletor Elizabeth Warren coming through to trying to stop the deal. Like, her and Quasimodo Bernie Sanders, bro. Like, I'm like, yo,
how dare you
where
body
you guys
shame her, sir?
Like
How
coming from? You guys know nothing about video games, but you guys are clearly want this thing stopped, but you have no, absolutely nothing about video games, bro. The closest thing they got to a video game was a damn calculator. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's like once they started, I was like, this is gonna be a problem because these dudes need something to try to win some votes, and then this is their opportunity, and they're gonna start talking shit. Like, I can't stand politicians, especially like, oh my god.
I feel you. Politics should definitely stay out of this, man. I feel you on that for sure.
That was OD.
Yeah, because what they do is just put other people a part of the conversation. I don't need to be a part of the conversation, man.
I feel you.
You're right.
But yeah, I'm about ready to get out of here though.
Hey, hold on, I got a question for you, real quick.
Show.
Because remember, like I don't know, maybe a couple of episodes back. And this ain't got nothing to do with topics, or this is just a random question.
Yep.
It's like a couple episodes back, right?
Yep.
And remember when I had brought up like we need the mid-gen refresh consoles, right? And then y'all was like, nah, we don't need them right now. It's too early. Y'all still feel that way?
I still feel that way.
I mean, ray tracing modes be struggling. That's for sure.
Because we got games dropping to 720p right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's not even considered HD anymore.
Yeah, well, I think developers and publishers just need to get smarter, and then I think I don't feel like these consoles' capabilities have been fully explored or fully taken advantage of. So that's why I feel like they're not like needed right now. I haven't like there's features in both these consoles that hasn't really even gone like touched, and like there's no reason why a game should be dropping to 720p looking like the way they look. Games don't look no better than they did in fucking 2015, 2016. They're not looking that dramatically better, man. Like, so I don't understand what technique they're using or how expensive the engine is to cause where they have to drop the resolution so drastically. Like, I can see if I was looking at some sort of like photorealistic shit where like I'm seeing like boogers up the dude's nose and shit like that. But no, I'm not seeing any of that shit. These games all look the same.
I was gonna say in terms of that, somebody gave me a good reason as to why that might be the case, especially for both Returnal and Forspoken, where they're both very heavy on particles. It might be because it's a RAM limiting factor. There's only so much you can put in the RAM, and it's a shared pool. I think it's like 10 gigabytes of RAM, and that's and that would explain why, like, for example, on PC, it's like recommended for 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that's high because typically speaking, it's like 16, but 32 is the recommended. That might be why, because I mean, on PC you get system RAM and you get graphics card, VRAM.
Right.
So that might be as to why, both of those games are low resolution and they like cut down significantly on resolution because they're trying to lighten the GPU bottleneck.
Like, I just want to get away from 30 frames, period, man. Like,
and to do that, you need a new system.
That's what I think.
Need a new system because, I mean, the thing is ray tracing, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's still becoming more prevalent. They're always giving the mode, but the mode is always 30 FPS.
Then stop using ray tracing. Here's the thing: is like
it's the future. They're not going to stop. They're trying to migrate over.
These CPUs are plenty strong based off. Think about the type of CPUs the PS4 and the Xbox One has, and the Switch had. Like, the CPUs in the Series X and the PS5 and even the Series S are plenty capable. They're plenty capable. They got. I feel like This is at this point. This is up. The devs got to do like a better job. Whatever they're trying to do, they need to stop it and
Whatever they're trying to do, they need to stop
They
it.
just need to design their games around 60 FPS like it does. Like a lot of there's studios out there that literally design their games at designing around 60 FPS. If they design around 60 F with the intent, like, hey, I need my game to run at 60 FPS no less, they will
Yeah, that
be
means
able to
that
accomplish what they need to accomplish.
Yeah, it's a design choice for sure because there's limiting factors. You only have so much performance. You only have so much performance you can get. So yeah, 60 FPS now is definitely a design choice. But to further advance gaming, I mean, 30 FPS would have to be done in order to make great advancements to into gaming. Now, I was gonna say in terms of that, yeah, unfortunately speaking, ray tracing is extremely demanding. Sure, these consoles are powerful, but to be honest with you, PC CPUs are fucking struggling with ray tracing. Like the new PC CPUs be struggling with ray tracing on. So it's not just like, oh, the consoles, they shouldn't be struggling. Like newer chips that are not like cut down, that don't have like less cache, like these newer chips are having problems. So to be fair, it is what it is, honestly. If you want, like, honestly, like a mid-gen refresh, it would probably have to switch up the CPU as well to get ray tracing at 60 FPS on these consoles. To be honest with you,
aren't these components relatively new? Like with Zen 2?
Yeah, these are all relatively new.
And that's the thing. If you look at the thing is, you if you go to PC and you look at these games running, a lot of these games with 4090. Well, for example, let's say my 4090. A lot of these games are CPU bound. I have like the best CPU, one of the best CPUs you can buy. Ray tracing on maxed out settings, I'm still not reaching the max usage of my GPU. It's because it's CPU bound. Even with like the maximum settings, whatnot, it doesn't matter. Even sometimes at 4K, you can still be CPU bound. It's because with ray tracing on, it's very demanding on the CPU as well. It's very demanding on the system entirely. And it's like, even with Zen 2 is a nice CPU, but compared to mine, it's not as good. But the thing is, CPUs aren't advancing as quickly as GPUs are. CPUs every year is like maybe 20% improvement, and that's considered good. Versus a GPU comes out every 2 years, but it will advance like 60, 70%.
My thing is, how is that possible? How are these dudes making games that can't run on new CPUs? Like, hold on, think about what you just said. You said GPUs are advancing obviously much faster than CPUs. All right. So if that's the case, with the current technology that we got, developers, games shouldn't be struggling then. There's no game should be struggling on CPUs if they can only work with what's available. What are they targeting? They're targeting alien hardware that's not here yet? Like, I don't understand.
No, the thing is, the thing is, at least in terms of PC, like when you get a game on PC, they usually try to future-proof the hardware. They push Ultra. Ultra is supposed to be for demanding hardware for the future, not for, I put everything on Ultra today. It's supposed to be like, this game is so demanding on Ultra that I have to upgrade my PC in the future and to be able to run at a stable FPS. That's how PC gaming used to be. Now it's more along the lines of like Ultra is like a lot of the times like similar to high in terms of quality, and like some games don't have for Atomic Heart, for example. That game runs crazy on all types of hardware. It runs really well, but it has no features for the next generation. Like I'm already running at 150 FPS. Like what I get a new PC is going to be only 200 FPS. So it's not going to be a difference. That's why I want future hardware or future technology in the engine, aka ray tracing.
Okay.
But,
for example,
but for example, I mean, I don't know as to why specifically, but I do know that a lot of these games are not fully properly using all the. At least we could tell that by looking at PC reports that people do. A lot of these games aren't properly using the entirety of the actual CPU. A lot of these games are like being single thread bound, where it's like, I'm not using the entirety of my CPU, but my frame rate is very low and my GPU is not maxed out. What's the problem? And then you look at all the threads that are being used. This one thread is being pegged. It's it's something that's called what do you call it? There's something that's called a render thread, and I don't know if there's a way to actually properly balance out the actual processes that go on the render thread onto multiple threads. That I don't know. I don't know if that's possible or whatnot, but that's basically the problem. It's like a lot of these games are single thread bound, and it's like these CPUs are only getting so much better. 20% single, like in terms of single thread improvements, that's nice, but it's ray tracing is a lot more demanding. So it's like these GPUs, they're going way higher. They're advancing way faster, even at a 2 year span between the actual releases. But these CPUs, they just can't keep up. And honestly, that's why Nvidia released like a DLSS frame generation where they're making frames, and it's like it's going past the CPU bottleneck that we currently have and just generating new frames. Because current CPUs, I mean, they just can't keep up. Like the 4090 it's bottlenecked at 4K. Like 4K is demanding on the GPU, but it can still be bottlenecked, which is insane. So these CPUs are just not they ain't keeping up. It is what it is. And
well, I was going to say, that's why I think that ray tracing is the future, but I think it's more the concept and not that feature. I think other people are going to try to do it at a less effective.
And that's why Unreal Engine 5 with Lumen has software and hardware utilization of software and hardware methods of ray tracing, but software ray tracing is a lot less demanding than hardware ray tracing. That's why, for example, on Fortnite, it's software based on the consoles, but you can enable hardware based ray tracing with like reflections on the PC, and it's a lot more demanding. So that's why stuff like that, like software based solutions and stuff like that, like ray tracing is the future. It's just how we go about getting to that future that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know and don't care, but I don't want mid-gen refreshes right now because, like I said, I feel like I just bought these damn consoles.
I feel like once we go down that route where these companies are getting paid to make a new console like every 2 years, every maybe 3 years,
then they're gonna have to Microsoft and PlayStation gonna have to sign fucking deals with like AT&T and Verizon so I can buy them shits on consignment, like whatever. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? You want to be able to you have to
forever upgrade.
Yeah, forever upgrades because
forever upgrade on the console.
That's the only way that shit could work. Now, so Dre, if you want a mid-gen console, you might as well just upgrade that that PC you got and like put it to the point where like. Honestly, like the one thing that's stopping me from the problem what I have to do is I have to upgrade my CPU, right? Which is going to require me to change out my motherboard, and then I can go and upgrade my GPU. But the thing is like by the time I do all this shit, they're going to drop another GPU that they're going to be in like the 50 series or like the 60 series, and I just don't like. It's like, come on, bro. It's like I tried to do the PC thing, and every time I do it, I'll get to the point where I feel like I got current, and then I realize I'm not current anymore.
About PCs, I realize you don't have to be current. Like
you absolutely don't have to be. If you're content with the performance that you're getting, then you're fine. You don't need to indulge in FOMO.
I think PC gaming.
You don't need to indulge in FOMO.
Gaming. I think it's bottlenecking gaming.
That doesn't make sense.
It is. I think I just realized because like think about it. If you're gonna keep changing out GPUs every 2 years, then you're not giving time for games to be fully optimized to what they are. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm about ready to go because this shit getting on my nerve thinking about.
I was just gonna say, bro, just go Ryzen for the CPU. Go Ryzen. You buy a 7800X 3D when it comes out. That platform you have like 4 to 5 years that it's going to be supported for. Okay, so keep that CPU for 4 to 5 years, and then once it's about to be done, or it's at the end of that AM5's lifespan, switch out the CPU with the best CPU that you can get, and then now you have another 4 to 5 years that you can use that. So you can basically keep one motherboard and you get like 2 of the best CPUs at the time, for example, and have it for 8 years. That's my recommendation.
Sounds
to you.
like work.
And then you
bro.
just worry about.
I need these
GPU.
motherfuckers to start better optimizing these games. And I'm gonna say one more thing before I go to all these like
Shit is demanding.
to all these buttheads on Twitter. Want to highlight every time PlayStation. Andrea, I'm not taking a shot at you, but all these buttheads on Twitter, and I'm saying on Twitter because Dre ain't really on Twitter. All these buttheads on Twitter want to highlight every time a game runs better on PlayStation or Xbox. Have that same fucking energy every time a game runs better on Xbox. Niggas was quiet in church mouses. Or when Dead Space 3 was running laps around places where they needed to literally need to drop VRS off the console version so that to help the PlayStation work out, and it's still getting smacked by the Xbox version. And just so a game like Atomic Heart, what's going on, guys?
Console players are weird, bro. A game would drop 10 FPS on console, be like, oh, look how terrible this is. I'll show my game running at 3 times FPS. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's a PC.
Here's the thing, though.
10 FPS is more important than 3 times that FPS? Come on.
Here's the thing that
makes no
answers
sense.
Here's the thing that answers Smooth. They do that because it's not supposed to. That's why they getting on your ass, because with y'all and how y'all the most powerful console eats monsters that eat monsters. The PlayStation 5 is not supposed to outdo the God box that is Xbox Series X.
Here's the thing. Here's the issue I have with this, right? People see the PlayStation 5 and the Series X like specs. It's not a night and day difference, bro. It's literally like small ass percentage points. Like the thing is like I expect when I say the Xbox is more powerful, but I'm not expecting like the Xbox to be at like 4K and the PlayStation to be at 1440p or 1080p. I'm not expecting that, bro. I expect them to both target the same, and I feel like the Xbox there's going to be I feel like consistently the Xbox based off their specs and the features that's there, the Xbox should have when there is a performance difference or whatever. Xbox should on common come on top in one department, whether it be resolution, dynamic resolution range, or performance range, since they have a higher yield for their CPU performance. But
remember the GPU can go faster.
Yeah, because they have that smart shift battery shit that they doing. Sorry.
But also, here's another thing though. Get on your man Aaron Greenberg, because he's the one who put the battery in y'all back with the standard is 60 FPS and 120 FPS.
But just to be fair, it's been consistently like that on Xbox. Yeah, sure, there's some random 30 FPS games. Plenty of 120 frames per second games with Xbox. What are you talking about?
Hold on, Smooth. It's not just that. It's the Series S is a 1080p and 1440p console. That's fucking cap. That is cap.
Right, that's a little bit cap. But this is why I feel like PC is bottlenecking gaming. So
how does that make sense?
If developers,
what are you saying?
If developers literally put their time and focus, they can get 1080p 60 out of the Series S easily. They can get, I mean, and there were early signs of it. We were getting 1080p 60, 1080p 20 games out of the Series S. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's like,
according to Aaron Greenberg, Xbox shouldn't have multiple modes, and 30 FPS shouldn't even sniff the Xbox Series X.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. According to him.
No, but all right. I think so. Greenberg's just a marketing person. I don't think he's like technical savvy and everything like that. But I would say the same thing, given that what the CPU was in the Xbox One X and what the CPU was in the Xbox One and the PS4. Yeah, none of these consoles should be sniffing 30 frames per second. The CPU was the biggest upgrade.
Ray tracing, bro.
Fuck ray tracing. Not many games use it. Like I don't.
The games that have typically speaking, the games that have the 30 FPS modes have ray tracing.
And it's ugly ray tracing.
Unless it's going for or trying to shoot for native 4K or dynamic.
It's fraudulent ray
and then
tracing.
that's GPU
all
bound.
these games that are using ray tracing, they usually have to merge that ray tracing with like SSR and cube maps and all this other stuff. It's like you're gonna do all that, you might as well just not use it. If you literally gotta merge it with an existing tech,
consoles got dire ray tracing because it's the limitation of the hardware. It's a closed box. You can't upgrade it.
Yeah, but
that's true.
Yeah.
One more question for you, Smooth.
I got it. Yep.
If you didn't have Game Pass,
yep.
is Atomic Heart worth full price?
Oh hell no, absolutely not. Looks good.
Oh wow.
But the thing is, I have not played a game where I said that was the $70 well spent.
It's $70 on console?
If Atomic Heart wasn't on Game Pass, I wouldn't be playing it right now. I literally would not be playing it right now. I can't afford it right now.
I personally feel like the biggest problem in the industry right now is everyone feels like if they make anywhere near a AAA product that their game deserves to be $60-$70, and it's like I bet you if some of these developers and publishers just humbled themselves and priced their game how their game should be priced, they would have a better result.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Pricing it at like $50, it'd absolutely get a better result.
Yeah.
Though I'll say in terms of that, at least that game is selling, or at least has good numbers on PC.
I'm gonna tell you this: if Focus Home Interactive was not publishing Atomic Heart, that game would have been probably $50. If the game came out when it was supposed to come out, it wouldn't have been $70. Wouldn't have had an opportunity to be $70.
Yeah, that shit was supposed to come out like 3 years ago.
So like it is what it is, you know what I mean? But like, I wish them luck. I look forward to like playing through the game, but I got so much on my plate right now. I'm happy we're in a much better position we are at gaming like this year than we were last year. I have a lot to play, and hopefully I can finish all the games. I still got to finish Hogwarts. I'm going to finish the Shadow Warrior 3 game. Playing through Wolong. Hopefully I can get through that. And what else? There's in the Atomic Heart. Definitely want to play that before some other games come out.
I will say that the story for Hogwarts isn't all that great, but I think Sebastian's story carries that story.
Yeah.
Like his story is really good, like really, really good. And I think he carries that whole entire story.
Yeah.
But it's still a good game though.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And it sold 12 million in 2 weeks. Oh my god!
Really?
Boycott, by the way.
It sold 12 million in 2 weeks, dog. I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. And it's not even on last gen consoles yet.
It hasn't even touched last gen consoles.
I was like, that's crazy.
I'm still very interested in how that game's gonna run on a Switch.
Last gen consoles are gonna run that.
Ain't no way,
bro. I ain't gonna lie, last gen consoles, it's gonna be probably like a Callisto Protocol.
Yeah,
type
it's gonna be like with an unlocked frame rate where it stays around like 27 FPS or some shit like that on a game, because even the game that technically is not even like a good performer on current like consoles. Is the frame rate is like fluctuating. Of course, if you have 120
most
hertz
part
display,
is good,
you play in balance mode. I think you're good. Like I'm playing in balance mode.
What are you?
Yeah, balance. It's
You're not playing at
40 FPS, right?
No. They're balanced. All right, so when you enable 100 the 120 hertz mode, right? All the frame rates like unlocks. So balance.
Oh, you're playing unlocked balance.
Yeah. So I'm playing unlocked balance. That's not 40 FPS. I think the 40 FPS one is the fidelity one, I believe.
It was the.
If you play in performance, I just don't like the freaking visual hit, because Hogwarts looks good, but once you play in the like high frame rate mode, it gets ugly, and then the texture popping, it gets horrendous. So I was like,
so what's balance mode?
Balance is
hovering at.
It's
as far as performance.
You're in
like you gotta unlock the frame rate.
Yeah, you're in the 60s, 70s.
I don't know. You don't have to unlock the frame rate, do you?
You unlock the frame rate when you are. It depends. If you are in
you can unlock.
If you're in 120, if you're in 120 FPS mode, that option becomes available, and the only one you can't turn it on, I think, is the
The ray tracing mode, right?
No, you can turn it on in ray tracing mode. It's just that you're not
Oh.
getting much. You're not getting much like out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you can unlock it on all the modes.
So-
if I remember correctly.
But the thing is like a bunch of modes unlock when you put it in, like put it on a 2.1 display or whatever. But balance mode is like essentially like it's I guess this, how can I explain it? It's the performance mode unlocked. I think it's I believe
no, the balance mode is like it's a mixture between the quality and slightly more performance.
Yeah.
It's higher resolution, better draw distance, like better foliage, etc.
Yeah, because when I put
But
it in that mode, I
not
feel like
as
I didn't
high of
lose
a-
much of anything.
Yeah.
So does
and
it feel like you're playing? Like does it feel like a 40 frames?
No,
or does
no,
it
no,
feel
no.
higher than that?
No, it's higher. It's higher than 40. It's higher than 40 because there is a 40 FPS mode, which is just I think the fidelity mode with uncapped, and the fidelity mode uncapped is 40 target.
Ah, okay. Because I've been playing in performance mode.
Yeah,
and
performance mode is ugly as shit, bro. Unless
Yeah,
you're playing in performance like 60 without the 120, then
Right,
it's
that's
decent.
right. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, but balance mode gave me that to the point where I feel like I'm not losing. I'm not getting those crazy ass popping and whatnot. Because once you start flying and shit start looking like clay. When you, because I tried it like the high performance mode. I'm like, yeah, this is. I was like, yeah, I'm good. like I gotta get some of that visuals back.
They I don't know why they put that on there. That shit don't even hit 120, bro.
It's like
That
at
shit
times,
legit don't ever hit 120. It's pointless.
at times it can look like it's a great looking game, but then at times it's like, oh my god,
Yes.
I say it always looks great on PC though.
PC.
Frame generation carries that shit though. Ray tracing on the CPU is like, especially you go to Hogsmeade, the CPU like dies.
Yeah.
You go to Hogsmeade,
Yeah, every
that
time
shit
you go,
that shit kills the PC.
It plays like two different games.
Yeah, in fact, it does.
Man, but we do appreciate you guys tuning in today's episode. Let us know how you felt about the episode and the talking points in the comment section below. Just tuning in, hit the like button, hit the share button. We're going to head out with some outros. We're going to start with Surgery the Great.
Yo, appreciate you for letting me come in. Aaron, get off my sack because you clearly wasn't listening to what I was saying during the whole thing, but do you, big boy. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. I'll catch y'all.
All right, Old Man Logan. Logan? Is he still here?
Sorry.
Oh, what the hell?
No, I'm here. I'm just chilling. Good to be here. Good to have you guys.
Hey, check
And,
out his
yeah,
One Day Dead review.
Yeah, if you want to see me rag on a game for 16 minutes, check it out.
And Gaming Addict. You guys been making noise lately with some of the big interviews you had between Tango, Cliffy B.
Oh wow, congrats, dog.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be having a pretty big interview to announce here soon.
Is it the
Yeah, but-
Iron Lords or is just you who's
The
getting it?
Iron Lords.
Oh, congrats to all y'all.
Yeah, what's funny is I got Cliffy just from pretty much like posting on Twitter. I was like, "Yo, we'd like to have you come on," and he answered.
Am I speaking? Am I allowed to make a comment about him real quick? I don't know if you.
He ain't on my
I don't know if
podcast.
you
Say
wanna-
what you got to say.
I saw him just making more tweets about, yo, Gears team, yo, hit me up, bro. I'm here, bro. You hit me up. This FOV is crazy, bro. Just hit me up if you need consultation. I was like, bro,
That's big help though. That's a help.
I'm not against. I'm
did
not
that shit
against.
before.
I am not against Cliffy B going into the coalition or helping them in any because I think that's only right. You know what I mean? I would never take credit away for what Cliffy did for Gears of War. You know, I didn't like how, the whole Bosky thing and how he ran a PlayStation and tried to help they shady asses out.
And he did address that on the
yeah.
podcast too. That's the funny thing.
I gotta listen to it.
I got to because I didn't hear the whole thing, so that's the part I wanted to really hear. But you know what I mean. But when it comes to like Gears of War, like I will only sing praises for Cliffy B because he did an amazing job with the original trilogy there. So
Nah,
kind of admitted, he was like, "Look, like I was too full of myself back in those days, and it cost him a lot. Like it seems like a lot of the industry don't really fuck with him that much because of just like his attitude he had back then."
So is he like on a David Jaffe level of being isolated from the industry?
yeah,
Maybe Jaffe seemed like, to me, it was mainly just like he's a dick. Cliff was arrogant, and I think people can hide behind, okay, that's just who David Jaffe is. Like, you don't have to be a dick. And Cliffy was both of those. He didn't care.
I don't mind developers. I don't mind talented people being arrogant. They should have that. I think
there's
a lot of people should be allowed to be arrogant. It is what it is. Like,
I think there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah, there is. But the reason I just brought him up is because he did that shit before. He's just trying to like come back to relevance type shit. He's like, yo, I'm here. Yo, you need consultation?
His girlfriend was playing the new Gears games, and it's just his opinion. He's like, look, I think he deserves at least consulting. I don't know what he's done in the past. Like, to me,
bro, he kind of just like fizzled out. He made a game, Lawbreakers, that shit died instantaneously, and then he tried to make a battle royale after, and that shit also died. So it's like he's trying to claw some type of relevance. I don't know. I just found that shit funny. I ain't gonna hold you.
With the gaming industry, you're just one game away from being relevant again, though.
True.
Yeah, he's like, yo, hit me up. Like, bro, no one looking at you right now.
He said in the podcast he is working on stuff that he's gonna announce soon. So,
yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I tried to bring up the Fortnite thing a little bit, and he said he was under NDA, so I had a whole Fortnite questions. It was like, how does it feel to walk away from the bag before the bag showed up? Like, there was a lot of questions. But the moment he shot one Fortnite question down, I was all right. I'm not going to get this dude in trouble if he accidentally slips up and says something he's not supposed to.
Yeah,
you don't want to mess with Fortnite epic lawyers. So
Tim Sweeney. Oh man, all right.
Probably mad as hell over that.
So again, guys, thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure doing the show. We'll see you guys next Saturday. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I broke my mic pop filter. Damn. Sucks.
How did you break that?
I was trying to, because it keeps falling. It kept falling off, and I like kind of, when Patrick was trying to get Squidward to hold the jellyfish in that when he was hurt and then cast it up. Right. It's like, firmly grasp it. he kept doing that shit until he like shoved that shit into his tentacle. So that's what I was doing with the thing. I kept doing it, and then it just like I forced it on and it just like popped off and the plastic broke. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, man. It was a great show. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace. Nice. Funny.